In this assignment, you're given an array list that contains words, and so it really, you can visualize it by thinking of each slot in the array list to have one word. Like this. And what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to find where the first sentence ends. So you're supposed to find this index here. Then the word afterwards, in this case the word then, gets eliminated. The word after gets stuck in front, and this period gets changed into a comma. So there are three operations: get rid of the word after the end of the sentence, insert after in the beginning, and mutate the period to a comma. All right, so let's find how we can do the first task of finding the end of the sentence. There is a general description in the textbook about linear search, and you've also seen it in the Udacity video. And there is a somewhat cumbersome algorithm for that, where you set a Boolean variable and where to indicate whether you found something, you go through all of the values in the array while you haven't found it. If for whatever reason you have found your match, the condition would be different for every particular kind of search. In our case, it would be, did we find something that ends in a period? Then you set found to true, otherwise you increment the position. And at the end you know whether you found it or not. Now, as it happens, we're actually in a simpler situation, and let me show you why. So we're supposed to find that index, which was called pause over here. We're supposed to find this pause, so we could do exactly what it says here with all of with the booleans and with this loop. But there is a simpler way. If all you want to do is you're in a method and you just want to return the matching index. And so over here, I'm actually doing a regular old boring for loop, as opposed to this while loop here that's more complicated. I'm not bothering with the Boolean variable at all, because as soon as I find the match, I simply call return and get out of the method. That gets me out of the loop. I don't need a Boolean variable to get out of the loop. I simply return the answer. If, on the other hand, I got past this loop without ever getting into the return branch here, then I know that I didn't find anything, and then I can return -1. So this shortcut always works if you package your search routine inside a separate method. And so that's actually something that I strongly recommend. I would routinely do this simply to avoid all that Boolean stuff and complicated loops. This ability to return an answer straight out of the middle of a loop is a powerful thing, and it works when you package it inside a separate method. So here I gave you that design. Sometimes you may need to discover it yourself. So after having done that, we're home free, because now we simply call that method. Note, by the way, that when we call the method, that we call it on this. So I could have written this dot. Some people prefer this because they find it's clearer. And so that gives me the index. Here I edit the word so that it has a period at the end. It's a little bit tedious with array lists, so you have to use get to get the word. Then you call replace. That gives you the string with a period replaced by comma. And then you call set to set it. Then I remove the next one, simply by calling remove, and I add something at the beginning. There's one variant of the add method where you can give an index where the element gets added. When you add it, it slides all the other elements further down. I don't have my image here, so let me just redo this one. So, what was my sentence? So what this method call here does is it first of all moves everything out of the way, and then over here it writes after. Now these other things have been moved out of the way, so now it says after I ate the pizza.